Hi, y'all. Welcome to the Gets to Fail. It's Thursday, December 3rd. I can't even believe it's already December. But we have our special guest, Patrick, back with us. The last time we talked to him was July 2nd in the bungalow. We were like in separate rooms, and I had so much fun interviewing you. Everybody loved watching that. It has been the one that has been played back the most. And so I'm really excited about that. Yes, you're a big damn deal. So
Wow.
I want to kind of tell y'all what he's doing now. He finished up the project that he was doing before. He is a muralist, right? That's how I say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Goes all over the country doing really amazing work for some freaking spectacular people. One of those spectacular people is Donnie Churchman in NAC Development right now, and we are very lucky to have you doing all the things, because every time I turn the corner on Main Street, I see the heart hands, and every time I go to the patios, I see the Mylar balloon and the double dip, and you are just like going around and stamping the rail district with.
I'm like one of those little dogs that piddles everywhere. You know what I mean?
You're right.
Kind of
He's piddling on all of
piddling all over Crisco. No, I mean, listen. I'm glad you brought up Donnie's name, because I mean, as amazing as it is to build a do art and live a life of creativity professionally for over 20 years. I mean, you need the people like Donnie. I mean, you need people who see it and who believe it and who are creative and want to support it, because without him, a lot of this stuff just doesn't happen,
Right. He sees the importance of that, and not only
Yeah.
does he see the importance of that, but he places so much importance on it that before these projects are even done, he's flying you out here to do these amazing murals. And the one you're working on right now, the Ford building, I'm going to be asking you about how you came up with your concepts, and everything that you do has a quirky twist or something that's unexpected. And so I really love that. And that
We always try to be more interesting than we really are, don't we? Oh, I'm different. It's my interesting twist.
I may or may not have sleepy clothes on underneath all of this.
I'm not wearing any pants. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Oh, crap. Okay. Well, yeah, definitely trying to be, different is sometimes hard, but every mural that you've ever done that I have seen on your Instagram is it's interesting in a way that is unexpected, or it's a different angle on something, or you add an element that's like the DeLorean, and it's just really, really neat. So Donnie has you back again, and you're doing the Ford building and NAC Theater. And the last time we were here was July 2nd. So why don't you tell us what you've been doing since then? And that's it. Just tell us what you've been doing since then, and let's start there.
I gotta tell you, I don't even feel like I left. I mean, it's weird. I woke up in Frisco the first day back, months later, 6 months, right? 6 months.
Yeah. Well, hold on.
Carry the one.
5.5.
5.5. I feel like I haven't even left. It's weird. I feel like it's my people here. I'm an East Coaster. I'm a little brazen. I swear a lot, and but I feel like I feel like I'm a Frisco cat.
Yeah. Yes, you are.
I dig it here. So yeah, I went back from the last project, which the last one was tough. I mean, that was a little bit of an error in scheduling on my part, coming out to Texas in June. I didn't realize how hot it got here. I mean, So I ended up, working in the 100 degrees every day, and I think I left here. I was like 10 pounds lighter, and I'm not a big dude to begin with, so I don't have 10 pounds to lose. So the first thing I went home was I had a lot of pasta, because I'm Italian, and I like to be a stereotype: a little sausage, a little pasta. I kind of bulked up a little bit, and I mean, it's pretty much right out the gate, right, from one project to the next. So I think right when I got back, I was getting prepared for. And I'm going to be off time-wise, but I think I was getting prepared for a couple local projects, and then I had some projects in Michigan and LA, and that took up a lot of the time, So, and there were a couple donations in between there too. Like I donated a large mural to a local school, which my kids go to. My son's wrestling coach had passed away, so we wanted to donate a mural to the gymnasium, like a huge mural, and so that was sort of that was a high priority for me too, and which was nice, and I got that done.
Yes. So,
Right.
okay, when you said you had an error in scheduling, I'm trying to write down things as you're talking. Um, One of the other things that I remember you saying about the particular mural you were doing and the location of it, you're on the third a parking garage on the roof deck, and the building's not finished, no one's moved in, and you're in this secluded area where no one can see you, all by yourself, sweating your ass off every day, working on a like two story. I mean, it's even higher. It's huge. How
Yeah,
tall was it?
it was 3 stories. It was 48 feet tall.
48 feet tall.
So probably 4 stories tall, something like that. I don't know.
So usually when you do a mural, it's extremely visible, which means what when you're working?
Well, I mean, the difference is, you know, if I'm doing a project that's a public project where people can walk by, I'm going to be talking to a lot of people. Or if I'm doing a project like that one, I'm alone. And so being alone for 30 days, I mean, that's a lot of me time. You know what I mean? I like myself, but oof, I got some cats in that bag, you know, so it gets a little freaky. Um, but no, I mean, look, I don't care. I mean, I love being alone and painting. It's therapeutic. And if I'm in a public space where people want to stop and talk to me every day, I love that as well. I mean, I love talking about art. And I mean, I like impacting people. And, you know, my origin story of wanting to be a muralist goes back to, you know, being in the backseat of my parents' car, driving down the back street of Wesleyan College in Middletown, Connecticut. And they had these old sort of historical homes. And there was one home on the left side, and these are actually still there today, you know, 30 something years later. In the windows, they had these murals, these paintings of these statues, and they were trompe-l'oeil, so they look, you know, it looked like it went back sort of like, you know, a little arch with a statue standing there. And I used to drive by and I'd look at it, and be like, oh, that's so cool, you know. And it was about 10 years later, I was actually at my parents' house, and my dad used to get Time magazine. Is that even around anymore? Remember Time magazine?
Yes,
And
it is. I saw it
yeah.
at the grocery store.
And in it, you open it up, and there was always like this little picture of like this little highlight of somewhere in America, and there was no story. It was just like a little highlight, and there was this painting of this. It was like sort of like a colorless painting with this, and in the front was in color this guy laying on scaffold, and there was a cow walking by, and it was by this mural artist named John Pugh. And those two are the moments for me where I was like, I got to do this. You know what I mean? I have to. There's a passion there. There's a motivation. There was something that. So to me, like today, I like the idea of thinking that maybe there's some kid driving by or some person like driving by, and they see one of my pieces and they're like, I got to do this. I mean,
I just got chills and all the way down my legs. Yes, it's
a romantic thought, you know what I mean? But I like thinking it.
Happening. I think it's already happening. You don't have any idea. I don't think that you can even possibly fathom all the people that you impact with the things that you paint, and how long, you know. And something that's so amazing is, you know how like when you have clutter and you have a junk drawer and you know that's in there, that's in your head, and you're like, oh, I got to clean that out, but it almost junks up your mind. Knowing that mural is up there is like a positive, like knowing there's a secret up there, you know. It's like, it cool. Makes me want to go there. So I really love that. And I love that I mean, I got to think that the cow walking by and the guy laying on the scaffold, that's kind of the perspective and the tweak or the twist or the unusual angle that you take in what you do. Because looking or imagining that in that little square on Time magazine makes me think of the same details in like a cow walking by or the DeLorean that you do in yours. So that's really neat. You said
that's the goal, right? The goal is to you know, one, you gotta get the project, you know, the wall. Number two, you gotta figure out, you know, you gotta learn how to actually paint murals, and that takes a little bit of time. And then you sort of eventually become like this sort of human copy machine. So now it's like, all right, so we're gonna take this bottle of water, and I'm just gonna paint this bottle of water. Okay. But how do I take that and have something where somebody's gonna maybe stop and just take a second and be like, And that's, to me, that's where I think it's more difficult. And I know people out there. There's a couple artists. There's one, you know, artist who's a good friend of mine, and his name's Pascal Amblard. He's a modern master. He's out of France, and probably one of the most creative guys I've ever met. I mean, the way that he creates compositions for art and what he has come out of his mind is amazing. Another one's Ron Francis. For me, like how I come up with my ideas is I sit down and I drive around, and You sort of you hold on these little elements, like the one of the patios with the big balloon and everything down below it. I've been wanting to paint sort of that sort of metallic balloon for years. So when Donnie came to me, I had several ideas for him, but one of them was, I'm going to sneak this in there because I just want to paint it. I just want to do it. You know what I mean?
It looks like a damn Mylar balloon. I mean, it's so authentic. And so there's two things that I want to go back to that mural on, because this is about the guts to fail. And sometimes thinking through things or seeing them once you paint them. I know that you've done this with Doc Space just recently, but there was something that's a little controversial, but I think that everybody will appreciate the things that happen with you painting Donnie and his t-shirt and what the logo looked like, and that he was with Matt Kemp, and it just didn't like play out right for a second, and you had to change the colors of a logo.
Yeah, I mean, look, painting and that was a funny one. I was expecting that. You know what? My father, when I was a young kid, I got in trouble at school, and I came home and I was really upset. And it was a trivial sort of kid thing, getting in trouble, nothing crazy, just stupid kid stuff. And my dad was like, he was a very jovial individual, and he was like, listen, he's like, nobody's gonna cut your arm off. And it's kind of a blunt statement, but in reality, like, we tend to create controversies in our mind, and we get upset about things, and our mind has a lot of control. So like, if we're upset about something today, 90% of our thoughts tomorrow are from today. It's a Joe Dispenza thing, right? And so on and so forth. So, we can hold on to things, and we can create these sort of elements of drama in our mind and really let them expand and affect us. And it can be from a personal nature or even from a business standpoint, right? Or we can say, hey, how do I solve it? How do I fix it? Nothing's permanent. You know what I mean? Like, even with a big mural, like, it's just paint. I'll just paint over it. Not a big deal, or somebody doesn't like this for this reason, or they see this for this reason. Okay, well, let's just fix it. And that's business to me in itself. Like, business is not necessarily the act of doing the painting. It's all the networking and all the interactions and how you deal with them and how people feel after they leave with you. There's a phrase out there, I'm going to butcher it, but it's something like, your smile's your logo, and how do you leave people feeling is your business card, whatever it is. But it's true though. Like, to me, there's a million artists out there. Go throughout the country. How many artists have come up to me just since I've been here this month? Oh, I'm an artist. I'm an artist. I'm an artist. Yeah, there's not many working artists though, and the reason being is because it's more than just being an artist. It's about having the capability of impacting the people that you surround yourself with in a positive way, where they want to bring you back, or impacting the way where they want to hear your vision and they get into it and they dig it and they want to support it and see what you can do.
Yeah. So what you're saying right now is exactly what we were about to lead into.
Oh yeah.
I love, you were like, I was like, wow, great transition. We didn't even talk about this. You're right. You have a combo that you have been given that's very natural, of having this artistic ability, but also having the ability to connect people and see opportunity.
Always.
And sometimes when I say, well, it's not about what's in it for me. It's what can I do with this relationship? How can I foster this relationship and prune it and grow it and connect them? And it's just this web that you have, not web, no one's ensnared in your web. This root system. Okay, here it is. Sequoia trees. I just made a post about this, and we learned about it on Sunday, and they're the tallest and the biggest and the oldest trees. Yeah. And they have little bitty short roots, but how can they be that tall and stand for 3,200 years with little bitty roots? Well, it's because the roots go out and they curve and I'm trying to stay on camera. They curve up. And when they curve up, they curve up and hold hands with the other sequoia trees around them.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
Underneath the ground. Yes.
Wow.
And so they're locked arms with every sequoia tree around them.
Are we sequoia trees? Are we sequoia trees?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm digging.
We are sequoia trees, but also I want you to talk about your sequoia trees and how because you also own Social Tuna. You're not only an artist, but you're also creative with social media marketing and with your relationships and how you prune and grow relationships and connect people. So talk about how one thing leads to another, and how you, I mean, just
Look,
explain
the premise is easy. I mean, it's real simple. You could go through life and you can worry about, and don't get me wrong, I think you should always worry about the perception of yourself and looking well and doing well in business and working hard, and all that's super important. But if you only go after your own success and you only worry about yourself, it's a lonely road. And I don't think as many opportunities present themselves. But if you go out, and I got this from my father as well. My father was a little fat Italian guy, one of the most likable guys in the world. Everybody loved him. My friends from high school still, if I see them, they're like, "How's your dad?" First thing I say, "How's your dad?" You know, because my dad loved people. He just genuinely liked people. He liked hearing about their stories and who they were. You can't fake that. I mean, you can't. You know, we're built like human lie detectors. So I genuinely like people, and I genuinely like people doing well in life. So think about this. If you surround yourself, if the people that you surround yourself with, if you are constantly, and everybody does this together, it's almost like a little personal private networking group. But if you constantly want your friends to do well, and if you see an opportunity over here that can help them over here, and you say, "Hey, I saw this," you put that little bit of effort in, that little bit of interest in, which, listen, sometimes we're tired, man. Life's tough. Life is tiring. But don't, you put the effort in, and you help all the people around you get a step up, right? And now all of them are stepping up. Guess what? You go up with them naturally. So if we all do well together, and if we all support each other, look, this is a time old sort of philosophy, you know what I mean? But it's true.
rising tide
I mean, so
boats.
what's that?
Rising tide lifts all boats.
Yeah, it's true though. 100%. So like, to me, doesn't matter if my best friend from Connecticut or it's my new BFF from Frisco. If I see something that I think can help somebody, I'm gonna put a word in for them. I'm gonna put in one over there, and I feel like people do that for me, and they have my whole life. I feel like I've been very, very lucky and fortunate that people, they want to see me do the art, and they want to see me do well, and it goes both ways. So
yeah, and you're not you are a person that's like the epitome of, you don't say it if you don't ask for it. You've told me, we've sat down and talked about this. Well, if you don't ask, then how will they know that that's what you need or you want?
of course.
If you don't tell them, how will they know? And
right.
So
like, you told me that there are going to be tacos tonight, and I said, "What time?"
Yes.
Seems pretty simple to me.
Pretty simple. If you didn't know, you can't show up.
You can't be there.
Yes. Okay. So, all right.
So the premise is if you give, you get. You can't do something nice for somebody and be like, "Hey, I found this for you, Brookie Lynn. I want this." It's not how it works, man. You give, you get. It's just natural. You just give out, you put positive energy out there, man. Positive energy is going to come back. People are going to want to be around you because you're throwing out positive energy, because the majority of the people out there are not happy. They're not satisfied in life. They have a low energy level. And, so to be that spark, I think changes everything.
Yes, yes. So I'm holding on to your dad being a jovial, fat little Italian. I love that. It gave me a picture in my mind. And he sounds like such a great guy. Tell me, so tell us about a little bit about a collaboration where you have uplifted a friend and that worked out for them. Tell us about a specific instance maybe that comes to your mind.
Oh my God, what do you mean? There's a lot of pressure.
Oh, okay. So how about this? Let's go into.
You like connectors, like connecting people?
Yes. Talk about a connection.
I mean, I don't know if there's a major one that's going to be like, this overwhelming story, but there's a million small ones. I mean, over and over again. Like, there's one client from a social media company that, they had this huge bed and breakfast in, I think it was Essex, Connecticut. And my best friend in Connecticut is a real estate agent, kind of like your husband. And, I reverted to him, and that referral ended up becoming a very large commission that turned into 2 more referrals after that. And it just sort of compounded into this thing because he's very much like me. He's very, social individual, and people really like him a lot. So they refer a lot to him. And, those are the types of things that I think are well. If you want to go even forward from there, you can talk about the creative types. chef that I know from one of my restaurants that I used to have. Very sort of low self-esteem. You know, if you said, "Hey, man, you know that meal was incredible," he'd be like, "Really, really, you really like it?" And I'd be like, "Dude, man, listen, it's not bragging to just say thank you. Just say thank you. Own it. You're a creative dude. You're very talented, and you got to start thinking a little bit outside the box and not put yourself in this little corner where you don't think you're worth it. Act as it, man. You know what I mean?" And we'd have many conversations about that. And there were different things that came about because of those conversations. So sometimes it's an actual physical act where there's money being transferred, and sometimes it's more of an emotional act where somebody just needs that little push and that little confidence. And
Right.
to me, there's no real difference. I mean, you need a little bit of both, right?
Yeah, you need a little bit of both. Tell us about the mural you did for your son's school and the coach that passed away and you giving back to your community.
Yeah, I mean, there was a period of time when I was doing murals, early on, I didn't have any money. I mean, I was broke, and I've always wanted to be able to paint for the sake of painting, so it's a career and I love what I do, but sometimes I just want to paint what I want to paint. That's it, so, that's kind of how it goes. So I usually donate between 4 and 6 paintings a year to different organizations or for different purposes. And those are the ones where it's kind of like, hey, I'm going to paint this, if you'd like to have it, don't tell me what to do. So I'm just kidding about that last part. I still work well with others. So this piece was a large piece. I mean, it was 80 feet wide by 20 feet tall. And, it's one of those where you walk into the gym and it's the whole wall. I mean, it's a really sort of, impactful piece. And it was something, I used my son in it, Carter, Carter.
I saw him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so cute. Yeah, and all of your paintings, you maybe not all, but several that I know of, like the movie theater. I know what we talked about, maybe possibly for Knack Theater and the guy hanging off the thing.
Yeah.
You yourself in the or you used yourself as a muse for the train on the side of Dee Dee's.
I just wanted an excuse to show off my calves. That was all.
Oh yeah, it was great. They're great calves. So,
thanks.
What?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, you're practicing what you preach. Just say thank you.
Thank you. Well, yes, they are. Thank you.
Yes, well, yes, they are. So, but you paint your family into them too, which is also kind of cool. And I love how in white and your handwriting's very distinctive. And you put your name, Patrick Ganino, on the side or wherever on every single one. And it's like a little stamp. And I love that part. It's really.
That's me piddling again.
Yeah, it's you piddling.
Yeah, we just went full circle.
Yes, very full circle. But it's not a small, and it's not giant, but it's there. And, I think it's important that we touch.
It's my brand, Brooklyn. That's my brand. You know what I mean?
But it's your brand. And I have not dealt with, I help and teach a lot of like direct sales people. And here's what I tell them. And I use your murals as an example. And I think you'll agree with this. When they are promoting or selling makeup, right? Mm-hmm. They're really about feeling good. They're a brand that's about feeling good, looking your best, putting your best foot forward, those kinds of things. The products are just something they sell. They are their brand.
100%. Yeah.
And so they lead with, in their about section and stuff, the products they sell instead of who they are. And they don't put their brand first. When that company closes or they pivot to something else, they have to change everything because they didn't establish their own brand.
Of course.
So about how important it is over the 20 years. Had you always done that, or is this something that evolved into, how did that come about?
Well, I mean, listen, even with my social media company, which is a business outside of me, I mean, it's a business that runs itself at this point. If you go into the about, I mean, it starts off talking about me and my creative endeavor and my murals. And I mean, to me, it goes hand in hand. So the creativity that comes from the murals is just a creativity that's innate from me. As far as I agree with you 100%. Like you can sell a facial cream brand X, and I'm sure there's like 9 other brands out there of facial cream that are probably similar. So it doesn't really matter what it is. It's who you are, right? And you're going to get into the door of whoever you're selling it to because of who you are, not because of necessarily that brand. When I was 15 years old, I used to do door-to-door sales with my best friend Jim, that realtor that I talked about earlier. And we were just a couple of local kids. We went to a Catholic high school, so we were used to wearing our button-down shirts with our belts and our pants, our khaki pants, and our shoes, and we would go door to door with these restaurant coupons. And there's nothing more difficult than getting in someone's house. Door to door sales is more difficult than phone sales. You've got this amount of time to break through and have somebody say, okay, let me hear what you have to say, and then you still have to sell it. You know what I mean? So we got really good at just getting people to, just get their arms down, just relax a little bit, and just kind of hear what we want to say. And I remember one in particular time we were walking up, and we were supposed to do these separate. Like the whole idea was he would take one side of the street, I would take the other, and we would just like numbers game, But every once in a while it'd be a Saturday and we'd get bored, so we just do them together just to laugh and have fun, And we were walking up to her house one day, and this lady, it was summertime, and she was watering her garden, she had her little hose out, she was doing her thing. And I was like, hey, I'm Pat, this is Jim. And, we've got these restaurant coupons I want to talk to you about, or something like that. I don't remember what the pitch was. But she was like, I'm watering my garden. I was like, no, let me take that from you. I'll water for you. And I took the hose from her, I started watering the garden. And then, she stopped and started talking to us. And we ended up selling a restaurant coupon for $20 or whatever the hell it was at that time. But as weird and bold and as awkward as that whole thing sounds, it was an interpersonal connection that would happen at that point where we made her feel comfortable. She felt comfortable with us. I felt comfortable with her. And we had a little moment, and we joked. Even that host thing I know it sounds weird, but it was fluent. It was a nice fluent sort of thing with smiles, and it was kind of funny. And I think some people don't necessarily feel comfortable enough to do that. I'm going to segue into one more thing real quick, because I did hire a guy to do sales for my marketing company about a year ago. And this guy's a very social individual. He's very likable. And I was like, oh man, this guy's going to kill it. I never have salespeople. It's always me, because it takes a certain touch.
Right.
And so the guy brought him on, put him on like a salary. It wasn't a ton of money, but I put him on a salary. And I'd be like, all right, man, make these calls. I was like, here are good leads for you to call. These are good people that could be our clients from a social media marketing standpoint. And I would hear him get on the phone, and all of a sudden, like, his whole tone changed and tightened up. And he was like, hi, this is blah, blah, blah. How are you today? And he got like real robotic, and he got off the phone. My office was, I had this big studio. It's a 2,000 square foot studio, right? And these open offices with walls, but there are gaps from the top of the wall to the vaulted ceiling. So you can hear into everybody's office, right? So I'm sitting in my office, and I hear him talking. I'm like, what the hell was that? Let go. So then I heard him do another one, and he was like, oh, okay, thank you. And I was like, what the? So I yelled, I was like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, what? I'm like, why are you talking like that, man? He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, why are you talking like that? Like you're selling Avon. I mean, like, relax. Like just ask her how she's doing, what she's up to. Like, hey, how you doing? I'm da-da-da. Like, relax. Like, here's the thing, bro. I was like, they can't see you, and if they could, who cares? Listen, no is not a bad word, man. You're just meeting people. You talk to the people like you talk to the people at the gym, or when we're together and we're talking to people, that's how I want you to talk to people. Because when I get on the phone, it doesn't matter whether I've known you for 15 years or 5 minutes. I talk to you the same. Just do. You know what I mean? This is the way I am. And he never could get it. I mean, I gave him a year. Like, we did a year. We did a lot of.
Wow.
He just couldn't get it. He just got bottled up when it came time. I think some people feel like sales is a negative word, or it's a negative thing. And I was like, bro, you're not selling something that is a bad product. You're selling a need. And you're really not even selling anything. You're saying, hey, if you have a need for this, let me know. We could probably help you out. That's it. It's casual, So I always kind of find the whole sales thing interesting, because a lot of people, they bring it to this level that it doesn't need to be at, where it's this is sales. Sales is saying, hey, did you see that movie last week? Well, remember when they used to play movies in movie theaters?
Yes.
It's like, hey, did you see that movie last week? And they're like, yeah, but it's amazing. Like, you're telling them, I know. You're telling them about something that you really liked, or that chicken place that we had there. What was that chicken place? Babes?
Yeah, it's so good.
Smoked chicken.
I'm starving.
So that would be like, me saying, hey, you go to that Babes, that chicken was real good. I'm selling you on an experience I have. I'm not making any money from it. but I'm still selling you an idea. And that's the whole premise behind sales in general, in my mind, is you're selling them a product that you really like, whether it be this or whatever it may be. Like, I believe in this product and I'm selling it to you because I believe in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay, it's 10:30, but I have some other things. So when you told this guy, to make the sales, really your first initial contact with these people is to make friends. So what you're saying and what I'm taking away from this is, all right, if I hire someone to help me do outreach for like bingo or whatever, I really should tell my people that are making these calls, can you call these people and make friends?
Just ask them how they're doing. What'd you do today, Brooklyn? What'd you do?
I have done a whole lot of things today.
Tell me one thing.
I took the trash out. I cleaned up the bungalow.
Yeah.
I took the kids to school.
Did you go to the gym?
I did. I went and worked out at 8. I did do that. I feel really good.
How was the gym?
A lot of crunches. And so my rib cage hurts because that's where my muscles are apparently attached.
Nope.
They were there.
No core workout for me. I don't like the core workout. I like to take a little dumbbells, like 20 minutes quick. I go to the gym across from where I'm painting the mural, and I go in there and I do like a 20-minute workout, and then I'm leaving, and they go like this. They go, "Oh, you just trying to get your pump on?" And I'm like, yeah. It's like, no, that was my full workout.
Just pumping up my chest here.
Yeah, just pumping up before I go to the gym. But see, that's the conversation that needs to happen. Like, just how are you doing? What's going on? And when I sell a product or anything, in an hour conversation, 55 minutes of it is just talking and having a nice time with somebody, like we should in general in life. And the last 5 minutes is like, oh yeah, so what are you selling? Oh, I'm selling this widget right here. You want it? Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And that's it. They know whether they want it or not. They know whether they can afford it.
Here's my credit card swiper.
Yeah. Here.
Put it in the slot.
but that's where this guy couldn't get it, and it was just baffling to me. It's a mental block, like anything in life, right?
Mm-hmm. So hiring this guy was about you expanding your ability, doubling yourself, basically.
I didn't want to. No. I mean, listen, in reality, he had moved down here from New York and he had lost his job and he was in a bad way. So he was like, hey man, can you help me out? So I was like, all right, I'll give this a shot. So I did that. But I didn't want to expand. And when the project didn't work out, I wasn't too upset about it because I'm very happy with where I'm at. I like a small boutique marketing business. I like my mural business. I'm good with everything. So.
But you do have people that you manage and that do certain aspects that you manage. You have a small team, right?
They run, yeah. So I have guys that run Social Tuna. They do the act of whatever needs to be done. But I didn't want a sales force. I didn't want to grow it like that. Like I get new clients every once in a while, and it's got to be somebody I want to work with. Like I don't want to go out and just take on a insurance company or something.
Right. But I
didn't want growth, Brooklyn.
Yeah. Well, it's scary to hire someone, and I have someone. I have people, but at what point in your social media business did you bite the bullet and say, okay, I'm going to need help with this? Was it from the very beginning you laid that foundation, or was it and you grew and you needed help?
So, I mean, it depends on what you have going on, to be honest with you. Like I have two different businesses. So, I have the mural business, and then I started the Social Tuna business. When Social Tuna was taking up so much of my free time, it was affecting my mural business. That's when I said I need to hire.
Got it.
So then you take a little bit of a hit financially. You don't be greedy. Mm-hmm. Take a hit on the profit, spend it on the person, and then grow it a little bit more. So, even now, as far as like, I mean, I don't need anybody right now, but if I was looking to grow the business, I would probably say I need, 10 more clients, and then I would add another employee. Mm-hmm. And then that employee would take those 10 clients up until 20, 25 clients or something like that,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Well,
you take your loss in the front end, right? And you make your profit on the back end.
Yeah. And then you're able to service your clients at a more efficiently, right?
Yep. And even now, I mean, I still talk to most of my clients. I mean, on a regular basis, whether it be, especially when I'm home, like I go visit them and say hi and see what's going on, add my little input, stir the pot, and then run out of there,
Yeah, and then get out. Well,
Oh, you should be doing this. Bye.
bye. See you
Yeah,
later.
works well.
So is there anything that you would like to, okay, yeah, let's leave on this. When you leave this, when we're done with our interview, you're going to go back down to the mural and continue painting for the day.
Yeah.
What are you working on right now? Like, what thing are you painting?
Today there's 4 panels in this 1920s Ford Back to the Future mural. And I'm drawing the 4th panel, which is going to be, it's the farthest one from the road. So the only way you're really going to see it is if you walk up to it. But it's going to be an amazing portion of the mural. It's just a very cool piece. It's got the 1920s black and white feel. It's like an open garage with a 1920s car. You can see the front of it coming out. And you got these 2 guys just standing there with their little fedora hats, just kind of chilling in that outfit. And it's going to be really, really cool. So I'm excited about it.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm going to come down there. I'm going to get lunch, and I'm going to come. Maybe. Yes. Yes, I will buy and I will go get babes for sure. But I'm really excited to see the rest of it and what you're doing. Everything that you've done so far looks great. I really appreciate you coming and letting me interview you again.
I love it. This is my favorite part of Frisco. I'm like, when can I get on Brooklyn Bungalows podcast?
Yes, yes, yes. Well, you're going to be on YouTube. You're going to be on my website.
Huge.
Huge.
Big time.
Love it. Well, okay. I will see you in a little bit. And good luck painting today. Thank you for being here.
Pleasure.